I promise I'll make it all worth it.
Yo, WWE fam. It's time for another update here on WWE News Update. Smash that subscribe button, ring the bell, and let's get into the ring of news. Monday Night Raw was meant to be one of the most important nights of Liv Morgan's career. After months of rebuilding momentum, sharpening her in-ring work, and working through storylines that positioned her as a major contender, she finally had the stage she deserved. The match on the card was a #1 contenders bout, a clear path toward another championship opportunity. The crowd was behind her, and the energy inside the arena made it obvious that fans recognized how much she had grown as a performer. She entered wearing a custom-designed outfit crafted specifically for the night, created not for shock value but to reflect her evolution, her confidence, and her identity as a top-tier talent. Early concerns behind the curtain. In the hours leading up to the show, backstage staff reportedly noticed potential issues with the outfit during routine checks. As is normal in wrestling, wardrobe teams look for anything that might hinder movement, safety, or performance. Some assistants quietly expressed concern that the material might not hold up to high-intensity action. However, because the outfit passed the initial inspections and there was no guarantee of problems, the decision was ultimately made to move forward. In professional wrestling, where creativity, presentation, and performer input all matter, calls like these are always difficult. Unfortunately, on this night, the decision would be tested under the worst possible circumstances. A match ruled by momentum. When the bell rang, Liv came out looking sharper than ever. Her agility, timing, and presence were undeniable, and the match quickly turned into one of the best performances she had delivered in months. She hit her sequences cleanly, kept the crowd invested, and held her own in what was shaping up to be a strong contender for one of Raw's standout matches of the year. Everything was moving exactly the way she needed it to, until a single moment flipped the entire night upside down. The unexpected mishap. Roughly 12 minutes into the match, during a high-speed sequence involving the ropes, part of Liv's gear gave way. The malfunction was brief and unintentional, but unexpected enough to immediately disrupt her rhythm, her confidence, and the overall tone of the match. These situations can happen in any live performance, sports, concerts, television. But in wrestling, where every camera angle is carefully chosen, how production reacts can determine whether the moment is handled respectfully or becomes needlessly embarrassing. Liv instantly attempted to fix the issue and continue the match, showing professionalism despite the sudden stress of the situation. Why production's reaction sparked debate. The part of this incident that sparked controversy wasn't the malfunction itself. It was how production responded in the moment. For a brief period, camera operators continued filming without immediately cutting away, switching angles, or providing the type of protective coverage normally used when unpredictable moments happen on live television. While nothing graphic was broadcast, the delay in redirecting the focus was enough for viewers to notice that something had gone wrong and for Liv's discomfort to be visible. Fans, analysts, and even former performers took issue with how long it took to shift the camera angles, raising questions about whether policies were followed or whether the team simply hesitated during a chaotic moment. Liv Morgan's professionalism under pressure. Despite the shock, Liv continued the match with remarkable composure. She adjusted her gear the best she could, finished the final minutes of the bout, and maintained her professionalism in a situation that would rattle any performer. But once backstage, reports say she was understandably emotional, not because of any physical injury, but because she had worked so hard to earn this spotlight only for an unpredictable malfunction to overshadow her performance. In any industry, when an artist or athlete is placed in an uncomfortable situation on live television, it's natural for them to feel shaken afterward. Liv's reaction was human, heartfelt, and completely understandable. The aftermath and WWE's initial response. In the hours following the show, the company moved quickly to manage footage, remove reposted clips, and shift attention to other highlights from the night. Their official statement described the situation as an equipment malfunction, an attempt to avoid speculation or sensationalism. While the explanation was technically correct, many fans felt that it didn't acknowledge the emotional toll such moments can take on performers. What people wanted was reassurance. Reassurance that performers are supported, that safety protocols will be re-examined, and that lessons will be learned moving forward. Silence. From the locker room and wrestling media. What troubled fans even more was the noticeable lack of public support from other performers or major wrestling outlets in the immediate aftermath. While silence doesn't necessarily mean indifference, wrestlers may be respecting privacy and journalists may be avoiding speculation. The absence of statements created an impression that the issue was being quietly pushed away. In an age where performers routinely speak up for one another during tough moments, people expected voices of support or calls for improved protocols. Instead, the conversation felt muffled. The larger conversation about performer safety. This incident triggered deeper discussion about the responsibilities of wrestling companies to protect their performers, physically, emotionally, and professionally. Wrestling gear must walk a fine line between creativity, durability, and movement. While wardrobe teams generally do an excellent job, this moment reminded everyone that even small oversights can have significant consequences. Many fans argued that every performer should have full comfort and confidence in their gear, especially on nights that carry career significance. Others pointed out that women's wrestling deserves the same level of safeguarding and attention that men's wrestling receives. These conversations were not attacks. They were attempts to push the industry toward better standards. The impact on Liv Morgan and the women's division. Liv Morgan has become a role model for many fans, especially young women who admire her perseverance, authenticity, and passion. Seeing her face such a vulnerable moment on live television struck a chord with those who care about her, as both a character and a person. This wasn't a storyline, it was real life, happening in real time. And it raised concerns about how women in the industry are protected, supported, and valued. The women's division has fought hard for equality, respect, and legitimacy, and moments like this highlight areas where progress still needs to be made. Moving forward, what needs to change? The solution isn't outrage, it's improvement. Fans and performers alike have suggested several steps that could help prevent similar incidents in the future. Gear should undergo more thorough stress testing before performers enter the ring. Backup options should always be available backstage. Communication between wardrobe staff, performers, and production teams should be strengthened. And most importantly, if something unexpected happens on live television, production teams should react instantly to protect the dignity of the performer. These aren't demands. They are reasonable expectations in an industry built on athleticism, creativity, and trust. Your thoughts matter. So now the question turns to you. How do you believe situations like this should be handled in the future? Should companies communicate more openly? Should production teams adopt stricter protocols? Should performers have more input into what they wear on high-stakes nights? Your voice matters because fans help shape the culture of wrestling. And when fans advocate for performer safety, dignity, and respect, the entire industry becomes better for everyone involved.